Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another morning of stamping. My name is Sarah Simon. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin. Holy cow, there were a lot of comments. I was trying to make a fourth sample of one of the cards that I'm doing today, and it said I had 5 minutes left. I'm like, I can quickly get this together. And you know what? It's almost together. It needs gems and a ribbon yet, but the most part, I got it done. I'm so happy you're with me this morning. Good morning, Dee and Mary and Julie and let's see, Sandy and Mary and Nancy and Denise. Thank you for those of you who have shared. Becky, um, Amanda, Michelle. Michelle, I like her. Good morning. All right. And Bridget and Karen and Julie, I'm so glad you are all here with me today. I have to admit, I normally have an iPad sitting up here and I watch my comments from the iPad and then I run everything else, like my banners and everything else. Good morning, Cheryl and Ann. Um, but I needed my iPad at school this week. On Thursday, I needed it for our VIP day at one of our elementary campuses. That's kind of like Grandparents' Day, but now they call it VIP because not everybody has grandparents. So they can just, or their grandparents aren't around here, so they can just bring a very important person to school. But we had that, and I had to take pictures of them. And my iPad is so much better than anything we have at school. So I brought it to school. And then Friday, I was in my office, but very briefly because I was running around. And I never picked it up. So I'm watching my comments in here, but I'm going to have to switch to a different tab where I can't see the comments when I put the dimensions up. So just so you know, if I don't comment, good morning, Debbie, or if I don't see your comment, I will look back at them for sure at the end and see if I missed anything. But normally I have a second device here to look at, but I don't today. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of the happy mail that I received. Look at this cute card. I received this from Amanda Shabo. She was one of my winners on World Card Making Day. And she was sending me a thank you because she had won, I think, some ribbon. Yes, it says ribbon. So isn't that a cute Halloween card? I love it. And then this I received from Aileen Humphreys, and she was thanking me also for something that she won on World Card Making Day. She said she was able to catch two of them live and she watched the replay of the other one. Isn't it hard to believe that was like a month ago? It's the end of October already. Holy cow. So thank you, Aileen. Thank you so much for the happy mail in my mailbox this week. And now we have prizes to give away before we start stamping. So last week, I made this fun layout with a that Halloween, the snowy scenes paper and the stamp set. And this is just a super easy layout that you could do with any kind of designer paper, any sort of stamp. So we had this one, and then we had our fun fold. I have to make sure I can grab both of these here. So again, this one opened up that way. Oh, so it was a gatefold. Here, I'm going backwards, looking at this backwards on my on my screen. It's backwards from what my hands are doing. So we made this. It's kind of like a housewarming gift, welcome or congratulations on your new home. And so receiving these for commenting last week is Rosie Walker. And Rosie, if you are on here or if you are watching this, I do not have your address. So if you could send me a private message by email, createwithsarahllc@gmail, or you could also find me on Facebook and send me a private message that way as well. I would appreciate it so that I can get you your prize in the mail. And then for sharing, so anytime you share to a Facebook page, or if you email somebody, or you somehow share my video with someone else, you also get your names get entered into a drawing. and receiving the highly coveted, ooh, look at these. These are Real Wet and White peppermint, the peppermints. These come in for a day and then they're gone again. So I happen to have a couple of packs of them that I had purchased for prizes. So receiving these is Julie Grassel. And I think I saw Julie. Did I see Julie? I think I said hello to her. I think you might have been the first one I said hello to, Julie. No? Yes, one of the first ones. All right. So, Julie, I will get these off in the mail to you. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you to all of you who support me. I really, really appreciate it. I have to tell you, when I first started making these videos, I had maybe like about 3 people watching me, and right now it's telling me I have 27. So that's pretty awesome. And I just really, really appreciate the support that you give me. I did not have any orders this week. We had so many of them last week. I think that everybody got their orders in before the end of the month. But if you did not, this is my host code. Anytime you get entered into every time you place an order and you use this code, you get entered into a drawing. And I give away stamp sets. Pretty nice prizes, actually. And if your order is over $150, then you shouldn't put this code in because you will get hostess benefits, and I want you to be able to take advantage of those. So, this is our last week. So on Thursday is the last day that you can get the kits for 30% off. That is a special we've had this entire month of October. And also our join special. So Donna Deppner, I don't know if she's on here this morning, but she joined my team this week. So I had Debbie join one week, Donna joined the next week. If you are a member of my team, you get to attend my card buffet for free each month. You also get access to any of the PDFs that I have for classes for free. We have quarterly meetings, and at those meetings, I have prizes. We have make and takes. We have a lot of fun. We eat. I treat you to lunch. So if that's something that you are interested, you can either contact me, or if you go to my Facebook or my Stampin' Up page where you can place orders, you would just hit the join now. And what you get for that right now for the month of October, so just until Thursday, for $99, you pick $155 worth of products. And you get free shipping on it. So you do have to pay tax, but you get free shipping. There is no obligation afterwards to purchase anything else. But when you are an active demonstrator, you get at least a 20% discount on everything that you purchase. That's even the stuff that's on sale. So right now with our kits being on sale, they're 20% off. You would get another 20% off of that with your hostess benefits. You also get access to all of our catalogs about a month earlier. So you get an extra month of celebration because we get to start ordering already in December. There are a lot of benefits to being a hostess, especially that discount, right? I love my discount. So you don't have to do anything like I'm doing. You can be, we call it a frequent shopper or discount shopper, where you get a discount on everything that you purchase. So if you're interested in that and you're not quite sure, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you. I think that's enough for announcements. I think it is time for us to start stamping. So let me go ahead and switch cameras, and let me get some comments up here so I can see if anybody else. Hello, Lori. And oh, congratulations, Julie. I'm going to turn my overhead light off to avoid some of the shadows. And I'm going to get all the stuff that I need for my first card and bring it over by my workstation here. All right, so for our first card, I promised that I would make a Thanksgiving card because that's going to be here before we know it. So in our online exclusives, we have this stamp set. It's Autumn to Remember. It's sort of with our scrapbooking items, but it does have this stamp in here that says Bountiful Blessings. And I thought that was beautiful for a Thanksgiving greeting. So I'm going to be using that. I am going to also be using, these have become my go-to dies, believe it or not. These are also an online exclusive. These are the greetings of the season dies. And there are so many different sizes. So today we're going to use this one that kind of looks like, let's see, that would be a hexagon, right? 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Yes, it's not a regular hexagon, but it is a hexagon. And we're going to be using that to stamp our greeting on. But these have, you can either cover up your hole or you can put ribbon through it and make it a tag. Like I said, they have become my go-tos. I'm also bringing back Choose Happy. We used this the other week when we did our Happy Boo Day for our little treat box that we made. And so today we're going to be using that Happy, but we're going to be using the Thanksgiving that's in there so that we have a greeting for the inside of our card as well. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to have to go away from the comments a little bit so I can use my banners to give you my dimensions. Hopefully, I said it last week too. Hopefully, all my dimensions are correct today because I haven't been doing so well the last few days, or the last few weeks, I should say. So I'm starting today with a card base of crushed curry. And this measures 5.5 by 8.5. And I scored it at 4.25. Okay, so that is going to be our card base. I have some of our early espresso that measures 4 by 5.25. And I have a very vanilla that measures the exact same thing. So one is for the outside and one is for the inside of my card. All right, I have some designer series paper, and I'm going to show you what this was. So I cut it apart already so that I didn't have to do that for you. But I started with a piece when it was all together that measured 4.75 by 3.75. And what I did was I went and put this in my trimmer and I cut this. It's at 1/16 past 1.5. So if you go to 1.5 on a ruler or on a cutter and you go to that next, the very next, the shortest mark, that's a 16th. So it's technically 1 9/16 that you're going to cut each one of these so that they're an equal distance and they spread out here. That's going to be our background. Just adds a little bit something with having it cut out and making kind of like little window panes almost of it. I also have some of that paper that is cut to 1 by 4 inches, and this is directional. So you're going to want the 1 is going to be the widths, and then the height of it is going to be the 4. All right. And then I have some other pieces that I've cut. I have a piece of the designer paper for my envelope. I'm going to hide this and go back to my comments. Good morning, Karen. Glad you could join us. Like I mentioned, I used that tag die with crushed curry. And isn't that like a beautiful die? I love that. And doesn't that look just so nice right there? I also used the dies from our autumn. I'm surprised I didn't put that out here. I thought I had out everything that I used so that I could show you. But I think I might have actually put it away. I don't see it with all of my stuff, which, Mom, isn't that amazing? I put it away. I never put anything away, right? I always have a mess out. But this is from that Splendid Autumn. And I cut, these are in Mossy Meadow, these two little things. And then I don't know, I have one. I don't want the yellow one. I want the Cajun Craze and the early espresso. All right, let's go ahead. Let's stamp. Let's put this together and decorate the front of our card for Thanksgiving Day card or Thanksgiving card. Hello, Sandy. All right, let's go ahead. Let's stamp first. So let's get this out. We'll get this out, and I'm going to use this for measure. So this is going to go along the side of our card like so. The reason I did the side instead of the bottom, when I was cutting the bottom and you cut it this way, when I was cutting 1 inch, it was like I didn't have any whole leaves at all because they were all being cut off. So I'm like, if I do it this way, I can at least get a full leaf. And then I'll just put it along this side of my paper. Just a little, it was bothering me. So I'm like, I've got to do something different. All right, so I'm going to use Early Espresso ink for all of my stamping. And for the inside, I'm going to put the Happy Thanksgiving. So I've got the word happy. I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. All right, and then we have Thanksgiving. The stamp set is so nice because you can use it for so many different things. I'm actually going to move that over this way a little bit. And the reason I'm going to move it that way, inside that same stamp set that has our bountiful blessings, we also have this fun, I think that's an oak leaf, right? So I'm just going to put that right up there just to add a little bit of a stamped leaf as well. So that's going to be our inside. On our outside, hello, Kelly. I'm going to take this label, and when I have a really big stamp like this, I like to take my ink pad and bring it to my stamp to make sure I get full coverage. Because if I go like this, I can't make sure that I have everything in there. So it's easier for me to flip my stamp over and bring my stamp pad to the stamp and get really good coverage. I do that with all really bigger stamps. Okay, we're going to go ahead and center this as best we can. Oh, look at that. Bountiful blessings. Isn't that brown, that early espresso on that crushed curry, just absolutely beautiful? Just thought of something. Do we want to try to put some leaves on here in the same color, tone on tone? Maybe. I didn't. You know what? We're putting leaves on the end here, so I think I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to mess it up. I know what it looks like when I made it, so I'm just going to leave it for right now. I might try it later and see what it looks like, but I don't want to try it and mess it up, and then we have to start over again. So let's go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to get our stamps out of here. We are done with those. Just going to adhere. Look at those fun fox and deer that are on the back of that paper. I still think that would be a really, really cute baby card with the little forest animals. And put this on the inside of our card. Make sure I have it centered. Okay, so there's our Happy Thanksgiving for the inside. I am going to take my bone folder. Don't laugh at my bone folder. At one point, I used it to spread ink in because I couldn't find a plastic spoon, and I washed it off, and it didn't come off. So if you do use your bone folder, it does kind of stain it a little bit. Maybe it was the color that I was using. I don't know. All right, so then these you want to have in the order so that they still make the seam, so you can kind of see where they're cut apart here. And when I do stuff like this, I tend to do the two ends. So I'm going to start with the left side, and I'm going to try to make it so that those three sides have the same amount of space around them. Okay, and then I'm going to do the right side. I'm going to do the same thing. I feel like I need to bring this a little bit closer to me so I can kind of see it. So again, I want the space around those three sides to be the same. And then I just fit in the last piece so that my spacing looks good. Uh-oh, I think I froze. There we go. I think I'm back. Did I freeze for a second? It looks on my screen like I froze for a second. So I apologize. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I do have do not disturb on my phone, but I don't know if something happened with my phone or what happened. I do have it plugged in, so it's not that it's losing power. All right, we're going to go ahead and attach that to the front of our card. All right. Our bountiful blessing is going to be popped up in the center there with some dimensionals. And I think I have a couple of dimensionals left. And then I started to cut these because I knew I was getting close to the end. I am going to make sure I get enough in the center so that it doesn't sag in the center when it's going through the mail. Pull all these off. I can do this easily with my fingers and don't need to take your pick tool because I don't have any fingernails. I don't have any fancy nails. I'm going to put this a little bit off to the right because we're going to build these little leaves and stuff that I had die cut ahead of time. We're going to build that off of this side. Okay, I used our adhesive sheets on these little fancy ones here because it's much easier than having to glue them. So you can see instead of it being mossy meadow, it looks white right now because there's that adhesive sheet that was on there. I always forget to do this, so it was amazing. Well, I shouldn't say it's amazing that I remembered because I didn't. The sample that I made did not use the adhesive sheets. But I learned, and when I cut for the one that I was going to do with you, we put the adhesive sheets on to make it a little bit easier. All right, and I'm just going to set those they're going to kind of border our leaves. So I'm just kind of hanging them off of the side like that from our die. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these leaves, they're just going to kind of be layered on top of each other right there. I want to keep the bees so that you can see it. It's just going to kind of be off to the side like that. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a glue dot on this end. I do that for both of them. And then I'm going to take one of our mini dimensionals and put it at the tip. And I'm going to put the Cajun Craze one down first because we're going to use some Cajun Craze twine. Okay, so we've got that one there. And we've got that there. And that looks just cute like that. And then, like I mentioned, this is another thing that is extremely popular. I think it's in stock right now, though. This is Garden Green, Night of Navy, and Cajun Craze. I know I had a customer last week that was a card buffet. She said, I've been waiting for that thread because it's just like our linen thread. It's a nice, very lightweight thread. It's very easy. I'm using a bow maker and I'm wrapping it around twice to get a double bow, just to add a little bit more because it is pretty thin. Put this away. I have almost all my green is gone. I had to make these labels. So at our high school, since I used to be the campus minister there, and every year around All Souls Day, which is the day after All Saints Day, so November 2nd, we used to have a prayer service. We either had a mass or we had a prayer service around that time. And we remembered all the people that were special to the kids and teachers who died in the past year. And we always had little votive candles that they could light. And I made little labels in loving memory of and put their name, and I always decorated them. So I've been gone from that job for a really long time, and I still get asked every year to do it. So I made labels using not this big one, but a smaller one. But this is kind of what I used one of those gold leaves and then these two, and then I used the green colored. I didn't have these green ones like that, but I used the green ribbon on it. And so there is our bountiful blessings and happy Thanksgiving. All right, so that's easy, really easy card, really easy layout for card one. I'm gonna go ahead. But anyway, I had to make, oh gosh, I think I made 18 of them already. And there were a couple of stragglers that came in late. And they're doing it early because, good morning, Kathy. They're doing it early. So it's November 2nd, but they're doing it already this week on Wednesday at their mass that they have, or their prayer. I think they're having a prayer service. I think they're having a mass. Um, because I don't know why. It's just when they decided to do it. I'm not in charge anymore. They just asked me to help. So there is our envelope and our Thanksgiving card. And I think this is the year my family, my siblings don't come home for Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to see them. And they don't come home for before Christmas. So I'm not going to see them until the Saturday after Christmas. My brother lives around here, but my sister does not. And my other brother is sometimes here and sometimes in Arizona. They're in both places, but usually this time of year they're in Arizona. So probably won't see them till after Christmas. So I think they're going to get one of these cards in the mail as a happy Thanksgiving, since I'm not going to be able to be with them and see them. And it gives me enough space to kind of write that I'm thankful for them and I'll be thinking of them at Thanksgiving. So that is card number one. This is the paper. I think it's called Splendor of Autumn. No, that's not right. That's wrong. I don't remember what it's called, but this is an online exclusive, and this is the back of them. Okay, and you end up getting 4 sheets of each one. So you have plenty that you could end up making a lot of cards because you really don't, you get, let's see, you would get I think you would get 6 per sheet that you could do. So you get quite a few. So that's our card number one. Here's another version of it. So for this one, I ended up using a different stamp that comes from the Splendid Autumn, I think it is. The one that has the frame with the chain. Good morning, Kay. Thanks for sharing. Good morning, Anne. Or Anne, I think I said good morning. Thank you for your comments. Hi, Holly. Um, that's where that greeting came from. And instead I used a different label than that one. But on the inside, I still put the happy Thanksgiving. And I didn't know if I should use pecan pie. That's what that is. The outside, I felt like I should have done pecan pie instead of early espresso, but I changed it on the inside. So that's another version of it. All right, so that is our card number one. Let me get out the things I need for card two. And I'll set that off to the side here. I'm done with my bow maker. I can get that out of here. So for card number two, our Christmas card. Hello, Patty Skiba. We are actually going to be using, I remember last week I said I've been wanting to break open my decorative trees. It's been sitting there like screaming at me, like, use me, because I see so many cool things online that I was like, I want to use that this week. So we are going to be using decorative trees. So there's a tree stamp, a couple of different stamps, an outline and an inside. You have this bow. You have ornaments, stars, several greetings, and these fun little layer things that you can do. But then the thing that sold me on this set wasn't so much the stamp set as it was the dies. And I don't have these on a magnetic form yet, but look at all the dies that you have. So you have, these can overlay, so you can do your background in one color, and then you can overlay it in different designs. So there's like snowflakes, a pattern, polka dot, a stripe with polka dots. And then you have 2 different sizes. You have one size tree, but you have 2 different sizes of the overlays, because I'm going to show you how you can cut that off. There's this fancy little thing that you can put down the center. You can cut out that bow, the star, the ornaments. There are these extra little bows These are for the little trunks of your trees if you wanted to add a trunk to the tree. And then this is for you to be able to cut this out and be able to put some kind of like some tinsel, hi Kathy, on it as well. So these are so fun. So the card that I'm making with you this morning is actually, I'm going to show you. I didn't quite finish the last color. I think I threw it in here though. Yeah, I did. I still have to add a bow to or a ribbon to it, and I have to add some gems because it was telling me that my video was supposed to start in 30 seconds. And I'm like, I can't get that on in 30 seconds. I just need to go. I'm going to show you with this paper, which is the Season of Elegance, I think is the name of the paper. Um, yeah, look at how pretty this paper is. Ah, right? So we're going to be using that. And it comes in a cherry cobbler. It comes in one that has crumb cake and basic beige. It comes in one that has pretty peacock and there's like a little bit of lost lagoon in it. And then there's one that's mossy meadow that also has some old olive in it. So I made one of each of the cards. Like I said, we're going to make the cherry cobbler one together. So what I have for dimensions, so I'm going to have to go away from the comments here so that I can go back to my banners so that I can give you these dimensions. Let's see here. All right, so my card base, so this is right. It is 5.5 inches long, or wide, I should say, by 5.25, and then I scored at 4.25. So it looks like this. So this is the front of my card. Okay. Then the front piece that has to be added to it, which is also in cherry cobbler, is 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so this is going to pop underneath here, and this is going to make our fun fold for our card. All right, then I am loving basic beige. I don't know how much you guys have played with basic beige, but I was telling Kathy Miller last weekend when she was here and we were working on some stuff. I feel like I'm grabbing basic beige almost as much as I grab basic white. I grab it before I grab very vanilla. I know people were really sad when the very vanilla envelopes went out and the very vanilla uh thick cardstock, and everyone's like, oh, does that mean the very vanilla regular cardstock is going to be next? I have no idea, but I do have to say I love basic beige. So we're going to be using basic beige, and then our front is also going to be basic beige, and that measures 3.75 by 3.125. Okay. And then what I have is I have some of our designer paper. So I have two of these that measure 3/4 inch by 4 inches. And then I have one that measures 3/4 inch by 5.25. Okay. That's all you need to make this card. And then what I did do is I cut out the background. So this is the designer paper. So in this one, there's like really like very muted with gold in the center. And then as you get, actually, I think the center is very heavy with the gold. And then the outside parts doesn't have as much gold. So I think these happen to be the outside part where we're going to use the back side of it though. We're going to use this side that doesn't have any gold. But I liked how it looked like it was kind of like painted on there, kind of like a textured painting type thing. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Let me hide this. Let me go back to my comments because I see I have one. Good morning, Angelique. And then I used that really thin little cutout, and I did this in our gold foil. So that's going to go on one of them. Doesn't that look amazing? And then I used one of the little ones. So there's one that has holly, and then there's one that has this little swirl. And so I used the one that kind of has the little swirl for this one. I can show you on some of my samples, I used the other one. For all of them, I used this. I felt like I just wanted something not overly heavy with the gold because my front one was going to be a little bit over the top with the gold. You know what I mean? So these were a little bit fuller. And I did use adhesive sheets on the back of these, and I didn't go and use my take your pick tool to punch out all of these yet, because when you take off that adhesive back sheet, most of those pieces will come right along with the adhesive. Okay, so look at, there's one that didn't, oh, and one here. But otherwise, everything else came out. So I didn't have to waste my time poking it out, because look at how dainty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me put it here so you can see. Love it. So I'm jumping ahead of myself here because I was talking about the adhesive sheets. I did it, but now this is sticky, so I have to put it down. This is going to go over the top of this tree. Okay, now it looks funny, right? Because this tree goes down to here. All you need to do is take your paper snips, and this is a ribbon one, but I don't see another one around right now. And I'm just going to cut right along there, and I made myself a little tree. So now I have two different size trees. Okay, I'll put that one on later when we're actually going to use it. Let's do some stamping, and then we'll put together this fun fold. So this is the outside of my card. This is the inside of my card. I am going to, and I sometimes I don't like doing this because what if I make a mistake, right? I'm going to go ahead and attach these so that I know where my greeting has to go on the inside. And these are going to go all the way over to the edge of this piece. This is going to be my inside piece. So I don't want any of the basic beige showing on this side. So I'm going to drag this over just a little bit. There we go. And we're going to line that up. Okay. And then in between there is where I'm going to stamp my greeting. So let me get my stamps out here. All I'm using from this stamp set are actually the greetings for this one. So on the inside, we're going to stamp May Your Days Be Merry. And I'm going to do that in the Cherry Cobbler ink. Okay, good deal. That's good. And then a very Merry Christmas is going to go on the outside. And I want to keep this so that it is in the upper right hand corner. Ooh, I'm gonna have to be careful with this. I was a little aggressive putting it in the ink pad. Let it marinate a little. Oh, and look at that. Looks good. All right. That's all I need for stamping. Okay, let's go ahead and build this card. I'm going to go ahead and put this tree together so that when we need it, actually, we'll go ahead and build this right away, that it's ready to go. So I'm going to pull again. The easiest way to attach this is to get some of those adhesive sheets. You just pull that off and it becomes a sticker. Amazing, right? So this is just going to go down the center of my tree. I don't want to make my curly do anything weird. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press that down. All right. This tree, I'm actually going to cut off the base of it. I'm going to cut off the little trunk because otherwise it hangs wrong on my my card. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down with just some either liquid glue you could do, and I am going to have it hang off the edge just a little bit. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm even going to let it hang just a little bit on the bottom so that it lays flat on top. Okay, for this, I'm going to raise that up on some dimensionals. So I have my dimensionals here. Oh, that's a big one. All right, that works. And then I am going to put one little one on the tip. Pull those off. And we'll pop that right. I just want to make sure that I don't get it in the way of the greeting right there. All right, so we have a very Merry Christmas. We've got our pretty trees that have, like, you can kind of see, I don't know how well you can see it on the thing, but there is like texture to that cherry cobbler. You could use just regular cherry cobbler cardstock, which I did do for one of my cards. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. But now this is going to get layered to this piece. Now that's 4x4. So it doesn't matter which way you have that one because it is 4x4. You just want to make sure that you have an even edge along the two sides and the bottom. You want to have that about the same. All right, let's see. Where did our other, here it is. So this piece right here is going to be the inside of our card. And I'm just going to set that right down there like that. All right, I am going to get my bone folder, my dirty bone folder out and give that a good burnish. All right, and then we're going to add that 5.5 or 5.25 inch strip across the top. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, right. Now, this is going to go in here, and I want to line this edge up with the bottom of the card, and I want to center it. So I'm going to kind of look at the top. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's setting along the bottom, and then I'm going to look at the top and have about the same amount of the designer paper on either side. And when it looks like it's even, now if you feel like you want to go ahead and measure where that is and put it on graph paper, you can. I'm just eyeballing it. And when I have that straight and in place, I'm just going to run some tape across the top and close that down. And that's how our card is going to open. Okay, then we have to fancy this up a little bit. So, hello, Sandy. Oh, yeah, those aren't they? I don't know if you have them, Sandy, but I just absolutely love them. There's so many cool things that I've seen online. I'm going to use our cherry with the gold edging ribbon, and I do have a scissors. Probably going to cut more than I need because I'm trying to tie a bow on a camera live. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to not do it center, but a little bit off to the left-hand side. And I'm going to tie that. I'm going to get my reverse tweezers. And I'm going to set that in there to hold it for me, to free up my fingers so that I can tie that in a bow, wrap it around. And come on, wrap it around, Sarah, and then push it through the back. Okay. And then I pull those little ends and then just pull real tight again. And then pull the ends and then pull it tight again until it's the size that you want. Okay, that looks about right. I'm going to go ahead and trim those. So I didn't have an overly abundant amount. Okay. And hi, Carmen. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a glue dot, and I have my take your pick tool, and I'm going to take one of these glue dots. I'm just going to kind of roll this into a little ball, and I'm going to stick it right behind the knot of that ribbon to sort of hold it in place a little bit where I want it. Okay, so once you have it where you want it, you're just going to go ahead and add that just to keep it in place, right? And then I thought it would be fun to use our neutral sequins. They have copper, gold, bronze, and a white. And I thought that the gold would look really nice on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of there's two different sizes. So I'm going to take a larger one and a smaller one. And I think I'm going to take another smaller one and just fill in some of the space that was a little bit empty there. So a very Merry Christmas. May your days be merry. All right, let's go ahead and decorate the envelope. And let's see where the edge is there. There we go. Couldn't quite see where it folded. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Angelique. All right, we'll trim this off here. All right, so there is our Christmas card. Now, I was saying that in this paper, we also have, so this is the one that I used, whoops. This is the one that I used cherry cobbler instead of the designer paper. You probably can't, up close I can tell, but probably at home you probably can't tell very well on that. Okay, then we have one in Mossy Meadow. Okay, that also has the basic beige, and I used some of that. This comes with a silver and gold trim pack. I believe it's back in stock now. I think it's in stock. It was out of stock for a while. And then I did one in our pretty peacock. Okay, they're all done the same with that paper. And then this is the one that I still have to tie my ribbon on, and I still have to add my sequins to, but it is one that's in crumb cake with basic beige. All right, so there we've got all the different colors from that paper. Do you have a favorite? The only one that I used the cherry cobbler ribbon on was this. We do have a, let me grab it. We do have the pretty peacock and gold ribbon that I could have put on there as well instead of just the plain gold ribbon. Um, I didn't think of it until just right now because I was trying to get these all done this morning because I made this one last night. And then as I was laying in bed last night, I'm like, you know what? I could make one in all the different colors. So I got up early this morning and I started making them in all the different colors. So this was the last one that I was doing. So if I add the ribbon. So do you have a favorite? It says also pretty. Anyone love the cherry cobbler one? Thank you, Carmen. Yeah, I don't know which one was my favorite, to be honest with you, but it's kind of a fun way to you can have the same design for your Christmas cards, but you don't have to buy as many packs of paper. Plus, it doesn't use all that much paper. Here I did use just regular pretty peacock for the background. Here you can probably see a little bit better how I used the back of the paper. So you can see there's a little bit of old olive and a little bit of the mossy meadow in that background paper because it's the back of the paper. Whoops, I think I just froze up again. There we go. Um, so that is kind of a fun way to do do the same Christmas cards, but be able to do them in a variety of different colors to get more from your paper when you're doing designer paper. Yeah, Debbie, Pretty Peacock is definitely one of my favorites as well. And we do have the that copper with the Pretty Peacock that looks really nice too, that I bet would look really nice in this if you used it on this design as well. So, all right, so there's our Christmas cards, I should say. Here is our Thanksgiving, and here it is in a different, with a different greeting. Okay, it just looks a little bit different. So those are some sample cards for you today. Let me go ahead and switch my camera. My light's off now. So now I have these bright lights that are over there on me. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I will be live again next Saturday at 8:30 a.m. If you have any special requests, one of the things that I was thinking about doing is I was thinking about doing like a Christmas, like kind of like a stocking stuffer type thing that you could do with a hot cocoa mix, and just have making like a little envelope to stick some hot cocoa mixes in. That would be nice and quick and easy little gifts that you could give out. If that's something that interests you, let me know. If there's something else that you've been wanting to see, if I have it, I would be happy to demonstrate it. But yeah, I'm open for suggestions. So thank you, Becky. I will see you, Becky, this tonight. I have to go. Our volleyball team is in the playoffs now. So they have a game tonight. So our volleyball team won state for 2 years in a row. So they bumped them up division. So we only have about 450 kids, I think it is right now in our schools, a little under 450. And we're playing against a school that has almost 1,500 kids in their school today. So it could be interesting. I have no idea. But it's so weird because, like the state just decided to do this, but it's like, okay, but those girls that won that state championship, they graduated now. So we don't have the same people, but anyway, so tonight I get to do the scorebook for that. So hopefully they will win and continue on. And our football team won last night, so they're continuing on. So yes, Becky, go Hawks. Becky runs the concession stand at all of our home events. So she's amazing. She hasn't had kids in the system for I don't know how many years, and she continues to volunteer to do that. She's amazing. So thank you so much for watching me today. I hope that you can find some time this weekend or this upcoming week to be creative. And again, I will be back here next week at the same time, 8:30 in the same location. And it looks like a couple of people are loving some 3D items. So I will I'll just do one because I know some people just like cards. So I'll do a 3D item. Maybe I'll do two cards in a 3D item if I can get to it. So thank you so much and have a great weekend. Bye bye.